Good day, class. In this video, we are going to study the spleen. The spleen is located in the middle jaw and it links with the stomach. We have mentioned the upper jaw and the middle jaw for quite a few times, and in the next video, we are going to mention the lower jaw, the three jaw. We are going to introduce the three jaw in the full organs. Just in general, the middle jaw refers to the region between the diaphragm and umbilicus. The orifice of the spleen is the mouth. We have to highlight that the spleen in Chinese medicine is not only refers to the spleen from anatomy. As we can see from the functions of the spleen more refers to the whole digestive system. The spleen is one of the most important organs in Chinese medicine, as the acquired axons and acquired qi is from the spleen. There are two main functions of the spleen. The spleen governs the transportation and transformation, and the spleen controls the blood in the vessels. The spleen governs the transportation and transformation includes two aspects: the transformation and transportation of food, the transformation and transportation of the body fluid. The transformation of the food actually refers to the digestive function. Although the digestive function happens in the stomach and the intestines in Chinese medicine, we think that this function will need the support from the spleen. In this process, the stomach receives the food we eat in, and then the stomach will try to digest the food and further pass them down to the small intestine. In this process, the spleen, especially the spleen qi, will support this digestive function. The spleen qi will assist the digestive activities. Furthermore, the spleen will separate the clear qi and the cloudy qi. The clear qi, the spleen will absorb the clear qi and transport to different organs, including the lung, the heart, the kidney, the liver, to the other four organs to support, to nourish, to offer nutrition for those organs. The cloudy qi, with the support of the spleen, the cloudy qi will be transported downwards to the large intestine, further transformed into the waste. Again, when we talk about the qi, we divide the qi into clear qi and the cloudy qi. Previously, when we talk about the water in the lungs function, we talk about the clear water and the cloudy water. Just in general, the cloudy water and the cloudy qi refers to something we don't need. The clear qi or clear water refers to something we need, some nutrition. So the something we don't need refers to the negative. Something we need refers to the positive. From this point of view, we again use the yin and yang theory. The way of yin and yang thinking, we always separate one item into two, one positive, one negative. So if we understand that this process, the digestive function, needs the support from the spleen yang or spleen qi. So if the patient suffers from spleen qi deficiency or spleen yang deficiency, the patient may present with poor digestive system, poor digestive function. For example, the undigested food in the stool, or abdominal pain or abdominal fullness. So these symptoms may present with spleen yang deficiency. The patient also may present with diarrhea, fatigue, These are all due to the poor digestive function, since the digestive function is supported by the spleen. The transformation and transportation of the body fluid. This refers to the transformation of the water, how the water transforms in the body. The water we drink, the stomach can receive the water. In this process, the spleen also assists in transforming the water into the clear parts and the cloudy parts, the clear parts of the water. With the assistance from the kidney yang qi, this water, the clear water, can be transported upwards to the lung. Through the lung's dispersing function, this water can be dispersed all over the body to nourish the body. The cloudy water can be transformed into the urine, further transported downwards further to the as the urine, and in this process will be supported by the kidney function. Previously, when we talk about the heart function, when we mentioned the blood, I said that the middle jiao received the qi. The qi was transported upwards to the heart, and the heart transformed the qi into red color. Then we call the red color qi as the blood. In this process, the qi in the middle jiao is transported upwards to the heart. How does the qi transport? It's from the function of the spleen. The reason is because the spleen has the function or the characteristics of governs the rise of clear. Spleen has the chance to move something upwards, especially the qi. Apart from the qi, you also can rise the internal organs to keep the organs in certain location. Although when study the function of the spleen, we separate the function of the transformation and transportation of the food and body fluid. These two functions actually happens at the same time. We cannot separate them. From this point of view, in the clinics, when we see a patient present with the digestive problem or the problem with the water or the fluid in the body, we need to consider the lung. We also need to consider the spleen, especially for the edema, the water metabolism. We need to consider the spleen function, as the spleen is in charge of the transformation and transportation of the body fluid. So we don't only focus on the kidney. In our treatments, we are not only focusing on the kidney, also the lung and the spleen. As the acquired qi is from the food and water, so the spleen is the most important organ of the qi of the whole body. More specifically, if a patient suffers from the spleen deficiency, in other words, the poor spleen function, the patient may present with the less qi, the qi deficiency. In this situation, the patient will suffer from diseases more easily. So that will affect the qi's function of protecting or defending the pathogens. In some other situation, if the patient presents with poor immune system, they always sick, they always catch the flu. In our treatments, we will focus on the spleen. We will tonify the spleen to improve the transformation and transportation function, to improve the qi of the body. And in this situation, the qi, the defensive qi, can be improved, which can result in protect the body from being sick. The second function of the spleen is the controlling blood in the vessels. When you see controlled blood in the vessels, it may feel similar to the function of the heart. The heart governs blood. When we say that governs the blood, includes the creating blood and promotes the blood circulation. When we study the lungs function, we also have mentioned that the qi from the lung also promotes the blood circulation. However, the movement of the blood will need another support from the spleen to control the blood in the vessel. Otherwise, the blood will move here and there, move out of the vessels. When the blood moves out of the vessels, we call it bleeding. It will result in bleeding. The spleen controls the blood, especially controls the blood in the lower part of the body. For example, the bleeding in the legs, in the muscular bleeding, or the bleeding in the urine or stool. In this situation, we will think that's the spleen's function, control the blood in the vessel. So when we're talking about the spleen's function to control the blood in the vessel, this controlling more specifically controls the blood in the low part of the body within the vessel, including the blood in the urine, in the stool, or for female, excess bleeding during the period. In this situation, during the treatments, we will tonify the spleen. We are going to focus on the spleen. Because of this kind of bleeding, it's more likely to be the spleen deficiency. The spleen deficiency will result in losing the controlling function of the blood in the vessel, which can present as the bleeding. The spleen deficiency also will affect the qi deficiency, as these functions cannot be separated, the transportation and transformation in the blood. So once this function is weak, this function also weak, the transformation and transportation. So the patient will present as qi deficiency. In this situation, the patient may present with pale color in the blood. The bleeding, when you see the blood is pale color, the patient also may present with qi deficiency syndrome, such as fatigue, reluctance to talk, tiredness, short of breath. So all these qi deficiency function. The symptoms. The characteristics of the spleen. The spleen governs the rise of clear. Previously, we have mentioned the clear. It can be the clear qi, the rise. The spleen also in charge of the correct position to maintain the position of the internal organs. So that's from the function of governing the rise of clear and the organs. The spleen prefers dryness, dislikes dampness. In this situation, if we see the dampness in the body, for example, from the tongue, we can see the moist tongue or slippery tongue. In the stool, we can see that the patient will tell you that's the sticky stool. These are all the dampness. The dampness in the body will result in poor spleen function. So when considering these two characteristics in the treatments, we're going to, for example, if a patient suffers from dislocation of the internal organs, we're going to focus on the spleen to recover the rising function to support the internal organs. In the patient suffer from dampness or the water metabolism, the dysfunction, we're going to focus on the spleen. We're going to reduce the dampness in the body, try to recover the spleen function. So that's how to apply these functions making use of these functions in our practice. Worry is the emotion of the spleen. Worry or anxiety, these two tones are very similar. The anxiety patient always worries a lot. And when you see these kinds of patients, most of them, they will be very skinny because the anxiety or worry will affect the spleen function in terms of the transportation and transformation of the food and fluid. These are all the nutrition where the body comes from, where the acquired qi come from. So a patient suffer from anxiety, they will have a poor nutrition supply. Another explanation for this kind of body shape on anxiety patient is from the muscles and fleshes. The muscles are the body constituents of the spleen. So if the spleen dysfunction, the patient will suffer from weak muscle or less muscle. The saliva is the body fluid of the spleen. The saliva here, we separate the saliva into a clear part and a thick part. The clear part we write here as the saliva. The thick part of the saliva, in the next two videos we're going to introduce, we'll consider as the body fluid of the kidney. In terms of the saliva, if the spleen got dysfunction, the patient may have excess saliva. Muscles and fleshes and the four extremities are the body constituents of the spleen. From this point of view, the treatment towards the atrophy is very important to focus on the spleen. The atrophy mainly focus on the muscles atrophy. So we need to focus, the treatment need to focus on spleen, to tonify the spleen, to recover the spleen function. Once the spleen function has been recovered, the body can have a better acquired qi, which is the nutrition. The mouth as the orifice of the spleen and the lips as the splendour. So we can see the spleen function from the lips, from our observation, from the diagnostic methods. When we see the patient, when we observe, you're going to focus on the lips, the appearance of the lips, the complexion of the lips. These can help you to identify the spleen. The mouth, some abnormal sensations that the patient may experience in the mouth. For example, the sticky mouth or sweet taste in the mouth. These are all related to the spleen. The patient may tell you that they experience the sticky mouth, or in some more common situation, the patient may present with drooling, especially at night. These are all related to the mouth, and in our treatments, we will focus on the spleen, as the mouth is the orifice of the spleen. The spleen corresponds to the seasons of the season of the late summer. The late summer, there are two different theories of the late summer. One refers to late summer to early autumn, so this period we call the late summer. The second theory refers to the last 18 days of all seasons. So the last 18 days of spring, the last 18 days of the summer, the last 18 days of the autumn, and the last 18 days of the winter. These four last 18 days are considered as the late summer. In here, we accept the first theory. The late summer refers to the late summer to the early autumn. During this period, in the north, especially in China, it rains a lot and the weather is very hot. So this is very similar to Johannesburg in summer, or even in Durban. It rains a lot, the weather is very hot, so the wants the dampness, the humid, wants the heat. So the dampness and the heat will affect the spleen function. During this period, the patient or even a healthy person may present with tiredness. They always feel tired. They feel sleepy because of the dampness. They may experience the heavy sensation in the extremities, especially in the legs. These are due to the climate changes effect on human body, specifically the spleen function is affected by the climate. In this video, we have studied the spleen. The functions of the spleen mainly focus on the transportation and transformation, as well as the controlling of the blood. Limits the blood within the vessels, especially in the lower parts of the body. When we talk about the transformation and transportation for the food and the water, it is very important that these food and water are where the acquired qi come from. In other words, where the nutrition come from. So the spleen function is one of the most important function in the body in terms of the acquired qi. Another aspect that need to be emphasized is the transformation and transportation of the water. So the abnormal water metabolism in the body, we need to treat the spleen. We need to focus on the spleen because the abnormal water metabolism will result in dampness or in phlegm. In future, we will study what's phlegm. And the phlegm or the dampness in the body will further result in other diseases. So from this point of view, the spleen function is the root cause of all these diseases. In the next video, we are going to study the liver. Thank you for your attention.